However, going by the number of deficits, it seems either many Nigerians are not aware of this or the mortgage banks are not playing their roles sufficiently.
We really didn't have a mortgage market, as it were. What we used to have was maybe housing finance, construction finance, building loans, and things like that. The economy wasn't accommodating of long-term deposits, as it were. Everybody is interested in the 90-day cycle, 60 days deposits, which are really not suitable for mortgage financing. But today things are changing. The awareness is being created, the sector is being restructured. The mortgage banks have recapitalized to a minimum of 2.5 billion for state licenses and 5 billion for national licenses. And this is also creating more awareness with such capital. You can go out, you can advertise, you know that when you advertise, you can back up your advertisement with product delivery.
The steps to benefit from either the federal mortgage or the primary mortgage banks are clearly stated.
The first thing you do is go open an account. Well, determine in your mind you want a home, because without that determination, without that passion for wanting your own home, you will not get through the difficulties or the challenges, not difficulties, the challenges. And then you open an account with a mortgage bank and choose from the area of services, area of products, which suits your cash flow and your disposition.
In Lagos State, the mortgage housing scheme has been in operation for over 4 years now, although in recent times the scheme has been suspended.
I mean, when you just coming on board as a new administrator, you want to know you need to first understand the baseline situation. What am I meeting on ground? What is the situation? And in the situation where we are in 32 sites, you know, so you first have to look at those sites, know the status of completion before you commit the contractors. Before now, some contractors were paid and they were actively on site, while some were skeletally on site. So when I assumed office, I went around the 32 sites. I met some on site, some didn't come to site, some, very few, abandoned sites. And for those that have not done well, we have no other choice but to determine their contract. But for those that have done extremely well, we continue with them. The case in point is that of Mushin, the Mushin estate. We had issue with 2 contractors, but they have been mobilized. If you go to Mushin now, they are there, and I will be meeting the allottees in another few days on site.
And so the government says the mortgage scheme will be supported with the rent-to-home scheme.
With the rent-to-home policy, what you need to commit in terms of fund is less than 5%. We are also aware that the traditional way of building might not be moving with the technology age, and we believe there is a need for us to go into system building. With system building, we're going to have the time of delivery will be quicker, and the quality will also be guaranteed.
With these plans, the Lagos State government attempts to put the mind of Nigerians at rest, as many have expressed the fear of affordability, even in the cases where housing projects have been termed low cost. While making houses available is still a work in progress in Nigeria, the question of the quality of houses and buildings in general cannot be overlooked. A study carried out by the Department of Geography and Environmental Planning of the University of Abuja shows that 139 houses collapsed between 1974 and 2012, with majority in Lagos and Abuja. Obviously, this figure has increased with incidences like the Lekki Gardens building collapse in Lagos, which a 5-story building under construction gave way and over 30 lives were lost.
Since the unfortunate collapse, the state government has taken the following steps. Order the immediate sealing of the construction site and cessation of further construction. Ensure the coordinated emergency rescue of all injured victims and treatment at its hospitals. Order the owners of the collapsed building to submit themselves to the police. Some government officials have been relieved of their duties. I want to assure you that there will no longer be any sacred cows. The state government will undertake a stability test on all other buildings constructed by the developer in the state, whether occupied or not, to ascertain their structural stability. The developer will pay the cost of the test. Any building found to be defective will be demolished. For those that pass the integrity test, the developer will pay a penalty for any overdevelopment on the site.
The cause of incidents like this, according to experts, are factors that could have been dealt with earlier. It has motivated the Building Collapse Prevention Guild, a body of the built environment professionals who are concerned about the problem. Discussions and investigation reveal some of the causes of the incessant collapse of buildings.
Some of the findings was that, one, the Ministry of Physical Planning was not structured to tackle the problem. So we now recommended that the ministry should be divided into 3 segments. One will be for planning permit authority. The other one will be urban renewal or urban regeneration agency. Then the third one will be building control agency. So the essence of this was to introduce a system that has checks and balances. For instance, if a potential homeowner goes to the Ministry of Physical Planning or any of their branch offices and submits your architectural and structural drawings for approval, that will be handled by planning permit. Once you have been granted an approval and you commence construction, the Lagos State Building Control Agency will be visiting your site to ascertain if you are complying with the approved plan.
The implementation of this plan has posed another set of hiccups, as noticed in the case of Lagos State.
One, the government did not have enough staff strength to cope with the demand on the field. Before LAPCA, 200 persons were recruited into the Ministry of Physical Planning to handle that aspect of monitoring. The majority of them had no experience or had no background in construction. And there were people who are just looking for a way of engaging themselves in some services that could yield some source of income. So eventually they were exposed to gratification, not having the primary aim of protecting the construction industry image.